So it seems that a lot of people in China are surprised to learn that Americans do in fact have to pay for ambulance rides. And so last night I thought, why not make a list of things that are normal in America that people in America might not even realize are very weird?
I'm chatting with a new friend in China, and their law schools are $798 per year. Which just makes me feel so angry because I have like $450,000 in debt just to go to law school.
Since we started the RedNote episode with the connection of China and America, we'll come to realize that the hustle culture in America isn't a flex as some people think. People tend to think that with Americans being able to do multiple jobs, they are hardworking, they're having a good life. But so many people in the comment section who are Americans are telling me to ask about, the retirement in China. So in this video, I decided to just collect few information on things that Americans are struggling with and how Chinese are coping with them. So there's a lot to unpack in this video. Kindly stay tuned. You know how selective I am with my clips, so you're going to enjoy this. Stay tuned. Kindly like this video.
America has a retirement crisis, and it's only getting worse. 80% of households with older adults, about 47 million, are financially struggling today and are at risk of falling into economic insecurity, meaning that they can become unhoused, they don't have access to proper health care, and they have food insecurity. So what are Republicans suggesting as the solution to this problem? They want to raise the retirement age to 70, even though life expectancy has been falling in America. As of 2021, the average life expectancy in the US is 76 years old. So if you're lucky, you get to retire by 70, struggle financially for 6 years, and then drop dead. But that's not all. Not only do they want the older generation working as long as possible, they also want the younger generation to get to work as soon as possible. Florida just passed a law allowing teenagers to work more than 30 hours a week, 6 days a week, without even a lunch break, and they can do this while they're going to school. In France, workers have been burning the country to the ground because they're trying to raise the retirement age from 62 to 64. Meanwhile, in America, we are being gaslit with propaganda like this, where we're being told that employees over 65 are working more than ever, which is a silver lining and great for the bottom line. And let me be clear, this is not for the employees' bottom line, it's for the corporations. For those of us who are older, we're trying to scramble and save and invest as much money as we can so that we don't have to retire into poverty. As for the younger generations, they've already wised up to this. They know it's going to take a revolution. It's going to take drastic action. They're going to need to boycott, strike, bring back unions in order to change the dynamic here because, the status quo doesn't change voluntarily by the people at the top. Change has to happen with pressure, and it has to be sometimes done by force.
Among young people in China is to retire as soon as they've saved up $150,000. To achieve this, many choose to work in big cities for a while before moving back to smaller towns. Take a county in northern China as an example. With $150,000 in the bank, they can earn around $5,000 in interest per year. With just $400 a month, they can easily cover rent and daily expenses. If they invest $40,000 in buying a commercial property, they could earn an additional $5,000 annually in rental income, enough to cover all their living costs. The rest of the money could be used for 1 or 2 trips a year. With $150,000, they can also own their own apartment in a small town, whereas that amount wouldn't even buy a bathroom in a big city. Housing prices in small towns are much lower. A 900-square-foot home costs less than $70,000. Daily expenses are only about 1/3 of what they are in big cities. Life is more relaxed, the air and environment are better, and fresh fruits and vegetables are more readily available. There's less traffic, and you can get around with just an electric scooter or bicycle, so why not go for it?
You want to know what the retirement age for women in China is? 50 years old.
They had a lot of questions about the way things work for poor people in the United States, and so the conversation started asking about land and whether or not we were allotted a specific amount of land for farming when we're born. I had to explain that no, you either had to be independently wealthy to acquire land for farming, or if you were lucky, your parents were wealthy and you would inherit their land when they died. Apparently over there, they just lend you land for you to grow food. Then the conversation turned over to healthcare and education, and I explained that a lot of people my age are choosing not to have children just because of the state of both of these things over here. I explained that even if you can afford to feed a child, the pregnancy alone can cost tens of thousands of dollars, and if you can't afford to pay that, then the state can just take your baby away. She asked me where the babies went when they get taken away, and I had to explain the privatized adoption industry to her. No, this isn't me coming on here saying Chinese government good, Chinese government unproblematic. That's not what I'm saying. But horrified does not even begin to cover the feeling that was expressed to me from her. Y'all, the corn over here is 5 times more expensive than over there. We grew the corn. I live less than 30 miles from the fields where 1/3 of America's vegetables and 3/4 of America's fruits are produced, and I cannot afford to eat them. Y'all, what the fuck?
You guys, so since TikTok is about to be deleted in a few days, could you please help me pay my tuition? I owe $3,116.75 that I would essentially have to pay out of pocket. I don't have that kind of money laying around. I have 2 kids. I do work 2 jobs. But I'm also in debt. So you just simply watching this video in its entirety, liking, commenting, sharing, or just copying the link to share would help me. I don't know how much engagement I would need to reach that amount, but anything would help, even if I have to drop a couple of classes, to, take a couple here and there. But I'm trying to finish up this degree. And, I figured, why not come on here and give it a shot? I've seen other people do it, so who's to say it can't happen for me? So I appreciate you if you stayed and watched this whole thing. Thank you, and hopefully I can get my tuition paid.
I hope you understand the reason why Americans can't survive without TikTok if the system isn't changed. That's right there, raising their voice.
I can't stop crying about the public toilets in China. I can't. Every time I go on that app, I cry, because it's not that our money is being so heavily invested in war that we can't eat and house ourselves. It's that our government has made a deliberate choice not to invest in us having a decent quality of life. Like having people have to defecate on the streets and then everyone getting mad about it and then blaming the unhoused people for it because we chose to not invest in people. And then also we can't do something as basic and simple as having public toilets. And by the way, these aren't just stalls of toilets like what we would imagine being here. This is touchscreen toilet displays showing which is full and empty. Imagine the most advanced parking garage in Vegas, but better, with air controls inside of them. And we would have the attitude that unhoused people don't deserve that here. We would. I can already hear it. They don't need that. And that's the thing I'm realizing. Our government's just been they don't need those things. They don't need that. Yeah, we could make a car that's 20 years further in advancements than the cars here are with the touch screens and all that. But you know what? We would rather develop a weapon that can tear somebody into shreds a lot more efficiently. It's disgusting.
So it seems that a lot of people in China are surprised to learn that Americans do in fact have to pay for ambulance rides. And so last night I thought, why not make a list of things that are normal in America that people in America might not even realize are very weird? I've got a list on my phone, and we'll start with advertisements for prescription pharmaceuticals on television and radio. It is completely normal to be watching television in America and get advertisements for prescription medication. Oh, it's also completely legal to advertise directly to children. As far as I know, only New Zealand is another country that allows pharmaceutical ads. Next up, there is no minimum guaranteed vacation for workers here. Employers are not required to offer you paid time off. We also essentially do not have maternity or paternity leave guaranteed. Also, most healthcare in America is tied to having a job. So if you don't have a job, you don't have healthcare. There are more options now, but that's pretty much normal. In America, it's very normal to portray poverty as a personal failure, not a societal failure. That's not okay, but that's what people are taught. Intense religious zealotry, just out in the open. It is very normal in America, if you're in a rural area, to see people with Bible quotes, very aggressive Bible quotes, just posted on signs in their front yard saying, "You're gonna go to hell." There is religious symbolism everywhere. You'll be driving along a state highway and there's just Christian symbolism. Literally billboards with hellfire on them. Oh, American flags everywhere. Everywhere. For no reason. A few days ago, I was driving and there was just a flagpole next to the road on a highway with an American flag. There was nothing else around it. They are everywhere. The Pledge of Allegiance. Our school children are forced to say a pledge to our nation every morning using words they don't understand. Taxes. When it comes time to do taxes, it is on us to calculate how much money we owe the government. And if we get that number wrong, we can go to jail. Slavery is still legal here for prisoners. And speaking of prisoners, our prisons are for profit and have quotas for minimum incarceration rates. Yay! God bless America. Help.
You don't have a right to free healthcare because healthcare requires other people's labor, and you don't have a right to other people's labor. You don't have a God-given right to anything that requires other people's labor.
What the fuck happened to caring about other people? What happened to the shared responsibility of taking care of each other and making sure that everyone's basic needs are met? What happened to love and empathy and compassion? They're called taxes. We use them all the time to fund things like infrastructure, education, and in my country, healthcare. What would you say to someone who had to phone the police? Sorry, you'll just have to get robbed at gunpoint because you're not entitled to that policeman's labor. Or you'll just have to get burnt up in that fire because you're not entitled to that fireman's labor. What happened to living in a society where we care for each other? We all contribute to society in a variety of ways, and not just through our labor. This isn't about a transaction of labor. This is making sure that everyone has access to care, whether they can afford it or not. That's the kind of world I want to live in, not one where people are dying because they can't afford medications. Capitalism is a parasite that brainwashes us to dehumanize each other, to look at the world through the lens of labor and money, to divide people into people who can work, people who can't, people who have money, people who don't, and then to decide who deserves care based on those attributes. That is not the kind of world that I want to live in, and I don't believe the majority of people do. We have to organize our systems using love, compassion, and empathy. Healthcare should be free for everyone.
So you work, you more than likely can't even eat every day. Not even 3 times a day. Me, none. Yet they expect us to keep working with a smile on our face. Fuck all of that. I be seeing why people don't fucking want to work. They pay us a little bit of money, but make everything fucking expensive. I'll be damned if I'm putting my life on the line for $14, $15. And then the whole time, your ass can get hurt or die at the fucking job you're at. So now you done fucking wasted your whole life being a hard worker to a company that don't give a fuck about what you got going on, don't give a fuck that you don't have nowhere to go, just don't give a good goddamn. And certain people will never understand the frustration. You guys will never understand unless you're going through it. There is no reason why hard workers can't afford to eat, can't afford to live, can't afford to pay rent. It is so much. And I just wanted to let everybody out there know, okay? If you are deciding to bring your ass to America, hold on, y'all. Stay the fuck over there. Do not come over here. Please. I beg of you. This shit sucks. All prayers to all my Americans, all my USA motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, my cousins, all that. We gotta figure something out, because this ain't gonna work for me.
So this is part 2 of I'm moving to China. Chinese people, I love you guys. Like, love. Like, we need to be best friends. I am crying at your comments. I went ahead and translated them. So I have to share some of my favorites. Here we go. An American told me he can only eat 1 meal a day. Stop it, stop it, stop it. This is modern slavery. You have to pay for an American ambulance. What should I do if I have no money? If it's an emergency and you're going to die without treatment and you don't have money, will the ambulance save you? I thought I knew America. I can't believe people have to work 2 jobs. This one. America realizes they're eating like their healthcare is free. Shots fired. Is this a school? Oh my God, you guys are so dark. So dark. We saw a video of a homeless guy hurting people on the subway while shirtless and asked if it was real. Yes, it is. What is a social credit system? I just had to Google and said it's a system in China. I've never heard of such a thing. Everything you said is true, and we have no forced child labor, no concentration camps, and you are not under surveillance. My US pen pal just showed me her medicine cabinet. I feel like they're ruining your body. My new friends in Canada also asked me about the social credit system. Never heard of it. When we own a home, we don't pay property taxes. America is the real slum country. When I went there are so many homeless slums, people, and garbage everywhere. When you find out the Chinese college tuition and interest-free loans compared to American loans and tuition, you will lose sleep. Now we're talking about the dating. Here we go. I saw a video of how women don't want to marry the men. The men are violent and frustrated as a result. The grass really isn't greener on the other side. Marry a Chinese man. They're romantic, pay for everything, cook, clean, care for the kids, support your education, lowest divorce rate, and financially stable. We just get a you up text in this country, and they want to split the bill here. So, yeah, that's what we're dealing with here. We even got Pakistan in the house. So he goes, I'm from Pakistan, a third world country, and I'm shocked by the way you guys are living. It makes my own country feel like heaven. I can't believe how outrageous your college loans are. I pay 520 yen, 71 US dollars for my 1,800 square foot room. They do public clean, repair something, safeguard, plant, and garden. Electric is 200 yen, and the internet and cell phone is also 200 yen. That's the equivalent of 1.28 US dollars. Okay. Look up Chinese food in the hospital for pregnant women. You'll be shocked. It's like a 5-star cuisine. In my hometown, I can call my doctor to my home, and it cost me just $30. Your government is good at brainwashing its people to think they're the best in the world. America is a third world country. I am Chinese, and I just read the book Animal Farm. It is the United States right now. The US government is covering up the truth and imprisoning Americans. In China, we don't pay a hidden 3 to 5% tax fee on every card purchase like the US. Your bankers take hundreds of billions of dollars from you annually. Bet you didn't know that. Even your $100 hospital stay will be reimbursed if you have insurance. You've been torn apart by gender, race, and other issues without uniting in resistance. American culture shock is so adorable. You guys should leave more. We should. And my favorite, I love your TikTok. It finally made US citizens open their eyes. We have high life quality, cheap and healthy food, high technology, culture, friendly, and there's kindness everywhere. I love this movement. Let's keep this movement going. I am living for this right now.
Once you understand that they will sell you anything in America, anything that you think your kids need exercise, there's something for us to sell for you. You need healthy food, we have the perfect product, healthy food that's gonna make you healthy. You can go down the line. Once you realize that someone wants you to pay for what you should get for free in life, everywhere you turn, you'll look at everything differently. So this ad, I think to most people looks like a positive ad. This is like one of those Montessori play gyms that you can put in your house. This helps kids, run around instead of maybe using electronics. They can work on their grip strength. They can play indoors, especially if the weather's not good. Okay, but once you look at things, our society is trying to sell you something, even something that you should get for free. I look at it from a different way. So I see this, and these things are not cheap, these Montessori play gyms. I've had pieces of them in the past that are far smaller than this, and they are not cheap, okay? The second thing I think is these kids are jumping and playing. The outside world was made for that. It is like a built-in playground for kids. You don't have to pay for it. There's rocks, there's trees, there's all sorts of things out there for kids to do this for free. And then they also get vitamin D from the sun. The weather touches their face. And you might say, well, maybe it's cold. Yeah, I think cold weather is also good for kids. Bundle up and get out there, play in the rain. Okay, the other thing is this just looks like a playground. So your kids could go to the local playground, which I would argue is much better because it's in the community and there's other kids there. So they get social interaction and they can create new friends. And you as a mom, when you take them, can also meet new friends, which is so valuable. And this is where it gets tricky because this looks healthy. This thing is like kids playing. You always see kids on TV. Now, this is something that's healthy, but it's still something that's trying to get you to spend money, and you're not outside. You're not building community. You're not doing these core things that human beings need to be happy. It sounds dramatic, but everywhere you turn, there's going to be someone willing to sell you something that is a basic human right that should be free.
Apparently, you're not supposed to be drinking ice water before and during your period. And if it's the winter time, you really shouldn't be drinking it if you have a lot of pain in your body. Painkillers are unheard of to be purchased in China. And it's that little tiny, simple reason. You should be drinking warm or hot water. They're actually surprised when they see people in peak health in our country drinking ice water. And if you have bad symptoms during your period, there's herbs that will relieve them completely. I just love finding out how much we are gaslit in this country. It's disgusting.
How many times do we have to keep sharing the same stories of Black women being largely ignored for our pain and being misdiagnosed to the point of our own detriment? How many stories have we shared in just this space? Black women after Black woman after Black woman experiencing the same thing over and over and over again. What I did not expect is that it was going to hit so close to home, because this happened to my youngest sister. Her name is Jordan. Jordan just found out that she has stage 3 cancer, only because she's been persistent in her own care, because she was misdiagnosed 8 months ago. I'm super grateful that she was mindful about her own care and persisting about her own health. But we all know cancer is no joke. She's going to need a lot of support and a lot of help. Here's where you can help. For those who are able, y'all know where to go. Y'all know what to do. Please do the absolute best that you can. For those who are unable, please share. Please get this story out about my Jordan. For anyone who has been through anything like this before, please send all of your support, like advice, things that worked for you, things we should be looking out for, and anything else that you can. Finally, just thank you for being the dope community that you are. Please keep our family in your positive thoughts and prayers.
They hung your ancestors upside down, pregnant, cut the babies out, and used the babies as alligator bait, but you go to them as your gynecologist today. And then you wonder why they're not helping you, why they're just prescribing you medicine. And you wonder why you're the highest maternal mortality rate. You're dying at the highest rate while giving birth. You're dying at the highest rate from maltreatment. You're not believed when you say, I have a headache, and then you have a stroke after you've had your baby. It's about time you start learning how to take care of yourself. You start learning how to take care of each other. It's time to learn, become doulas. It's time to learn, read books. It's time to learn to heal yourself and heal your people.
Can you imagine being from China and seeing the American people cry about a silly app when their country has literally banned all these things being put in their foods? Like, at least we still have that. We're still allowed to eat carcinogens. China has banned carcinogens. I mean, can you imagine? We forget how blessed we really are in this land of the free over a silly app. Come on.
Allow me to wind up this video at this particular point. Hope this video is beneficial to you. It's for you to select information that are important for you. If you're an American looking forward to also move to China, as some are considering to do, so look at options that will help you maybe work from America and save money in a different country. Anyway, for your retirement. But I don't know how you guys pay tax even when you are not in the country, because there's that also with Americans. So yeah, that was it about this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Kindly subscribe and share me out. Support the channel as well.